Hello, welcome to the DAS Analysis channel. Today's video we're going to talk about the weaknesses of Spurs and how Amorim could set up tactically to beat Tottenham Hotspur in the final. Despite they have beaten us 3 times this season, twice under Amorim, based on the eye test and the performance, we played pretty well and the result wasn't a great reflection of how the game played out. But individual mistakes has cost us in both of the matches. However, both of the matches has highlighted some of Spurs' weaknesses. But before that, let's begin by addressing the tactical blueprint of Ange and his approach. Spurs typically plays a 4-3-3 formation. His principles often requires his fullbacks to push higher up in build-up phases, whilst inverted surrounding the midfield, which makes it sort of a 2-3-5 shape in attacking phase. With Spence and Doggy, Porro and Gray in attacking mid position, basically the fullbacks have the license to go forward, joining the attack. This not only gives them that numerical advantage upfield, it enables them to undertake combination plays and rotations, which Ange loves and probably helps him sleep at night. So for this example, let's just say the attack's in the left hand side with Ndogi, Son and Maddison involved in the attack. They will often interchange with each other. So for example, sometimes Son will be running into the channels, whereas Maddison will be dropping deep and Ndogi will be out left to create that triangle shape. Or occasionally it could also be Maddison running forward and Doggy being wide and Son dropping deep. It's just that that interchangeability makes it very difficult for opponents to deal with and will constantly confuse the opponent picking up their man. This allows 3 players roaming around the space and moving into channels. Ange demands a lot from his fullbacks. He not only wants his team to play a high line, he also assigns his fullbacks to join the attack and press further up the pitch to pressure the opponents in their own third, squeezing the opponent and limiting the passing lanes. And in an attacking standpoint, statistically, the approach is effective. As Spurs has the second highest number of goals from counters with 10, only behind Liverpool with 14. Basically, they are very good at intercepting or tackling the opponent and countering them to score a goal. The other stats that also are quite revealing is that they're initially 4th in tackles in the middle third, but now 7th and also ranked 5th in attacking third of the pitch. Spurs in attacking statistical standpoint is pretty good, and Spurs are quite good at it, as they accumulate one of the highest XG with 48.1, which is 5th in the league, showing that they are creating high quality chances. They're even creating more better chances than Newcastle and Arsenal, who are currently 2nd and 3rd, highlighting that they are a very good attacking team. However, the main issue is that their strength is the cause of their problems and weaknesses, as Spurs is a good, very attacking team. But the problem lies is when they lose the ball, due to them overcommitting plays forward, including fullbacks. If it's intercepted by the opponent, the attacker have the space to drive to, as Spurs are stretched out, and also the rotations of Spurs can lead to a huge problem, as you have the wrong player profile defending in the wrong areas. For example, Maddison could be a left back trying to defend the pacey winger, which based on the quality of Maddison, he is very good attacking wise, but defensively he will struggle. Also, because of Spurs overly committing fullbacks further up, they will constantly be out of position and rushing back. So therefore, there will be a lot of space out wide to target. I do think including Ahmad and Garnacho with the pace and directness, especially there in the flanks area, we can really exploit the space available. Especially since how often Spurs defend narrow. If Manchester United is able to stretch the pitch, there are chances to be created like this. Also, from this match, you see that our wing backs have loads of space. The other overarching weakness of Spurs is their over-commitment to the style of passing around the back, as Ange demands his players to undergo this process in build-up. So often you will see Spurs getting stuck in their own half and struggle to progress the ball forward as it was instructed as the main principle. This is proven by the stat that Tottenham is ranked 5th in touches of their own defensive third. So Ange doesn't want his team to play long. Often he wants to invite the pressure through passing around the back, lowering the opponents in and passing through the press. So therefore, what most team does now is surround that midfield and middle of the pitch with players without being too overly aggressive, with knowing that Spurs is not planning on going long. They're planning on capitalizing on Spurs' mistakes, as often Spurs playing out the back cause them trouble, as they seem to struggle to pass around the back and constantly giving away possession or making silly mistakes to be counted on. So I can see this as an opportunity for Man United to take advantage on, as I feel that to press them high can really often make the Spurs defense struggle in passing around the back, but Ange is very strict in the terms of passing around the back, which he will refuse to change. So there's a lot of opportunities that we could capitalize if we press higher. The other weaknesses of Spurs is them defending set pieces, which Manchester United can capitalize on, as Spurs this season has conceded 14 goals from set pieces, which is the 4th highest in the league, and the XG against from set pieces was 3rd highest in the league with 15.2. This isn't a reoccurrence, as Ange he doesn't really focus on set pieces, as he's quite stubborn regarding that factor, and which leaves Vicario constantly being in physical battles and struggle when approached with corners. This is my 3 key points of what we can use to beat Tottenham. Now, in this section, we're gonna talk about the lineup and the players that I will pick to beat Tottenham, based on all the information that was gathered. So, in the goalkeeper position, it's gonna be Onana. In the 3 centre backs position, the left centre back is gonna be Luke Shaw, the middle centre back is gonna be Maguire, and the right centre back Euro, as there is speculation that Euro will be back, and I think he's crucial in the way we play out the back. His composure, his ball carrying, and his progressive passes can be really key for this game. The reason why I picked Luke Shaw is because he's left-footed and he can make the outside pass to Dogu, which is kind of gets away from Spurs' main pressure, which is centrally. Also, I like that Shaw can offer that progressive carry, progressive passes, and also I was thinking of Heaven, but he's recently just got fit, so I will put him in the bench and then maybe make him as the sub for Luke Shaw if needed. The other thing we can capitalize on is that Ange instructs their wingers to be more defensively aggressive at times, as we've seen in the Palace game. His right winger press on Gay, and which leaves space in the flank and centre, and having Luke Shaw's ball playing ability, he could be able to pass that pressure through either bounce passes, passing it out to the left wing back, or even the AM. This, which throughout the game between Palace and Spurs, this was a recurring theme, and Spurs really struggled in dealing with that situation. Maguire's gonna play centrally because I think he's been one of our most consistent centre back and the most available and fit at the moment. He also offers the physicality that we need, and also the passing ability, the passing range, as he can make them long passes forward, which can be very useful, especially when we're under pressure or when we're thinking of countering against Spurs' high press. And then I'll have Dogu and Mazzari at left wing back and right wing back, as they're the only players that in them positions that are available and match fit. In regards to Dalot, I think I'll make him as the sub, as he's recently just came back from an injury. Also, I wouldn't pick Diallo in that position, the right wing back, as Spurs' biggest threat is down the flanks. With their rotations and dominating the half space, I do feel it would restrict Ahmad's attacking ability, and I do worry more, and he will worry more about his defensive duties. And then in the two pivots, this is going to be quite controversial, but I will choose Ugarte and Casemiro, as Spurs midfield will be quite physical without Maddison, and so they will probably go for a more physical midfield. So I think that midfield will be with Basuma, Saar, and also Bentancur. And also, I'm not a big fan of Bruno playing in the centre mid position, as I feel like he does a bit too much. And I do feel bad for Bruno because he is trying to do everything for the team. So sometimes he will drop really deep, helping the centre backs in build up, which I'm not a big fan of because it gives that space for the centre mid to exploit, and also it makes our build up more and diagonal and focus more on our own third, so we're unable to progress further forward. And also, I do think when Bruno gets a bit, sometimes gets a bit out of position as well, he sometimes loses markers because he's further up the pitch. So I do think, in order to give Bruno that freedom, I do think playing him at the attacking mid position would be very beneficial, as tactically it would make it very difficult for Saar to mark him, so often Bruno will be the player that be in space. I think that if you give Bruno that space, he can make things happen, and he's the most important player in our squad that can make things happen. So Bruno is gonna be my right attacking midfielder. For the left attacking midfielder, I believe that we need some pace and directness, so Garnacho will be our left attacking mid, as he offers that pace in behind. He's very direct, he can take player on, and I like him playing left attacking mid so he can take on Pedro Porro, as defensively Pedro Porro struggles, and he struggles especially defending in the wide areas. And what I like about Garnacho is he tends to take players on, and also he gives that width that is really important for this game. And lastly, the striker is going to be Amad Diallo. It's basically quite similar to what Ten Hag did, but I want Bruno to move deeper, helping the midfield to make a 3-man midfield against Spurs 3-man midfield. Ahmad is not really gonna be the playing centrally, as I just want him to run into the main channels, either centrally or right hand side, and Garnacho running the left channels. As Ange puts a lot of men forward, including fullbacks inverted, if we can keep the midfield compact and intercept the ball, we can counter them, as they have over committed like 6 or 7 players based on previous examples. Having Bruno, Maguire, Euro and Casemiro with their level of progressive passes, we could literally take out of 6 to 7 players out of the game with a couple of passes, and having Garnacho and Ahmad 3v2 with their centre backs and CDM. But I think the main thing is going wide, as Porro and Ndogi would be out of position as they're overcommitted. And if they're not, then Spurs' main threat is being tamed, as the fullbacks are unable to move forward because of the pace in behind. Also, in a defensive standpoint, having Bruno around the striker to the attacking mid position could be very beneficial defensively, as we should adopt what Palace's approach was when they play against Spurs. As Spurs was building at the back, having the striker on the Spurs midfielder caused problems with Ange's game plan. But instead of Mateta, let's imagine it's Bruno. I think it's really well done by Palace having the striker tracking the midfielder. It made it very difficult for Spurs to progress the ball forward and into the midfield, which Spurs really like to do.